And with that, I can officially welcome us all here to our regular season finale. It's Friday Night Racing in 2019 coming to a close. My name's Corey Edwards, and I'm happy to be joined once again with my co-commentator here, Kevin Van Hellebeck, going to be joining me.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to a great evening here. Last official race of the season.
We made it. Coming up, we have juniors racing tonight. So let's bring them on up to the rail. Our officials are going to explain the rules, make sure everybody's ready to start. As they're going around the neutral, Kevin and I will get you informed about what's going to be happening in this race, and we'll get ready for some fun with our junior racers here tonight. And off we go. For the first race in the night, our junior is going to be warming us up this evening with this Avalanche. So if you got your race program, you probably see the first four races all have different names next to them. That's because we're going to play a bunch of different types of rule sets here for everybody tonight. The Avalanche is a mixture of a snowball, which is a common race we like to race around here, where every lap the point value goes up by 1 to the lead rider, and an unknown distance. So the snowball for who knows how many laps. So if they've raced 5 laps, the first rider across the line will be picking up 5 points. If they've raced 10 laps, the first rider across the line on that lap gets 10. It goes for however long. Bell at 1 to go. Rider with the most number of points is our winner. So we'll see how the juniors are going to race this one. They're currently in the neutral, and they'll get started out of turn 4 as long as they're all together.
So basically, you're trying to mesh 2 different strategies. That crazy unknown distance, which is a beast unto itself, and the snowball.
Only pays to be at the front. But you don't know how long it's going to go for. So we'll see as the leader's jersey of Joe Spranger takes the first lap to get things started. Number 413. Our thanks to Vi13, our custom apparel buddies, for helping us put together our leader's jersey. I see another leader's jersey in the group too. It looks like Caleb there at the back end of the field right now. So a couple of riders that have been doing really good on the Monday Night Race Series being celebrated here tonight. That's Caleb Prescott, the rider there in the second leader's jersey. Now we know the first lap's only worth 1, and in an avalanche or any type of snowball, the later laps pay up really fast, but you still need to get somebody to win the first lap. It looks like Joe wants to get things started right away. And our early race leader will be Joe with 1 point. He's going to put some pressure on this field of juniors because it pays to be at the front, so he made it fast right away, and this is going to start separating out our juniors. Now, we do have 10 through what I think are 14, 15-year-olds out there in that range of riders, so there is a big gap between our youngest and our older juniors in this group. Already starting to form on the track as we see it breaking up a little bit here. Ben Jurassic called on the lap there for 2 points, is now the race leader. That's the rider in the black and green for Liquid Velo, currently in the lead after 2 laps. Now the thing about this is we got to keep in mind of this is at any point the bell could ring and the race is going to be over. So you need to stay competitive throughout this event if you would like to find yourself the victor in the Avalanche. And certainly now, the race is going to be on between these first 4, and the field behind them is going to be racing against each other for the remainder of the race. Oh, a nice sprint here. Scoville just out-sprinted to the line by Mr. Jurassic there. That would be Ben with his second sprint victory. I got him down for 5 points now.
Some pretty intense racing out at the front there.
So though there's some different age groups, everybody's going to be still racing because everybody wants to go fast. The back group technically right now is going to be racing for 5th as they're kind of being left off the front edge of this race. And it looks like now Joe going to go forth for some more. Hey, talk about intense. As you said, Kevin, we got a tie at the top. That's 5 points to 2 racers now.
Riders in 3rd and 4th working together, getting back up with 2 leads there.
Two riders in the tie for first place coming out of the turn now, and coming down the home straight is Joe and Ben. Ben's already got the speed he'll need to pick up this lap. He gets 5 more, bringing him to 10 for the lead right now. On deck, we do have the women for their point a lap. At some point, this race is over. Women competitors, that field is getting set to go next for the point a lap.
And they're all back together up front.
This does give an opportunity for those riders that were kind of trailing off the back. They have not been sprinting yet. And the longer the race goes, the better the sprint is. And JC Pyle knows that very well. So he's going to go for his own move here. This will immediately bump him into second.
Quite the burst of speed there.
Saving it up for a good time. 6 points for JC, and he is unofficially sitting in second place behind Ben with the 10 points. Joe currently in third with 5.
He slips right in the back of that group, and off they go again.
Cooper Bunn now trying to move things along for his group at the back here, but they are competing for what would be overall a 5th place finish. There's the bell. 1 to go. Jurassic gets 7 more and has the lead with 17 points. This next sprint worth 8. I don't think Ben is catchable. JC with 6 plus 8, bringing him to 14, would be enough to be in second, but not quite enough to overtake Ben. But look at this move by JC. That's the rider in that neon helmet for the Jerry Baker Jr. is making a nice move here. Riders getting 1 to go. 1 to go for Bunn. Cooper Bunn getting 1 to go. Here we go, folks. Put your hands together for the juniors. JC winning the final sprint. Going to be good for second place, and our race winner now coming across the line. Joe Spranger good to hold on for third, and Scoville with a nice race also in the mix there.
4 different racers tallying points there. Everybody picked their spot and took it.
This would be, I believe, 5th overall in the race. Keith Robinson coming out of the group. Cooper Bunn in a nice competitive race between the two of them. And this group of 3 also fighting all the way to the end of the race. I think it's Vining coming out of the group. It is Indigo Vining, the lead rider of that group of 3. So our juniors are all finished up. They're exiting on the back straight and getting set for our next race now. Our women to the rail, please. Our women's field to the rail.
That's what you got to like about those juniors. They're tough right to the end. Pounding it all the way around.
Now coming up, the next of our kind of smorgasbord of race types this evening, the point-a-lap coming onto the track now. So point-a-lap awarding the front rider, much like the last race, but the points values don't go up the longer the race goes on. This is 1 point to the leader every time around, except on the final lap. That's a 3-2-1 to the leader. So 3 points to win the final sprint. And oftentimes in these point-a-laps, if they're not too long, that final sprint has a ton of weight in the overall finishing positions. Unless one person's just getting all of those point-a-laps, oftentimes those 3 points can make a real big difference. So the final sprint, a much more important deal than almost any other in the point-a-lap. Our field just coming around into the neutral. We'll get them started at turn 4 as long as they're together. A couple races away from the Clip Bar Kitty Kilo, so those Kitty Kilo registrants keep hanging out. We're going to bring you out here pretty soon. We got 3 more fields and a crawl to get through before we'll see our Kitty Kilo riders join us on the track.
So I'm sure there's several different strategies, but I would imagine they might want to go out and score some points early on and then maybe sit back in the group and refresh themselves and be ready to go for the end?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to play it, and it comes down to your strengths and skill sets. Stanley Douglass joining in and competing tonight. He's actually, I believe, a Cat 4 men competitor, but he's here tonight, and we put him in the field to compete and get this field out here tonight, this evening. So thanks to Stanley. He's going to go early. He's a sprinter. He wants to get him now and not later. I know his route.
Well, if he soaks up some of these points early, then that'll leave all the others for them, and we'll see what happens.
Not a bad strategy, though. As you said, go early, sit in, and go at the end, especially when you know the last sprint is so important. In the early laps, oftentimes people are going to kind of sit back and try to wait for later in the race. So not a bad move here by Stanley. He's got a couple riders behind him starting to organize themselves. We'll give Douglas another point here. Stanley in the lead with 2. A rider in the black and yellow. I always want to play his theme song when he comes by. That black and yellow tune, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that group of 4 coming through has got Taylor Crane at the lead of it. One of our juniors that races in this field every week. Kelly Darlene making her way to the front will pick up her first point and is now sitting in second. If you're joining us tonight, you are witnessing the final night of regular season racing here for our Friday night racing season. We go through the summer months, and tonight we're going to see how everybody totals out. And next week we will actually be celebrating our season results with a couple more nights of action. We've got our Friday night racing next week as a postseason, so it doesn't count for the season points. We'll still be here racing at 7 o'clock. And then after that, we're going to be doing our hour record attempt the next day. And then finally on Sunday of next week, we're going to be celebrating over at Diamond Knot our achievements from the year. So hopefully our folks can join us on that one this next week for celebrating all of the great things that went on this season. As I'm prepping for next week, I'm missing Kelly Darlene picking up a point there on that last lap. She's now tied in the lead with Stanley Douglass, 2 apiece. So now the race has become this field of 4 at the front. This group is the one taking all the points from everybody else. That's Becca Kawaoka now getting onto the board with her first point. She finds herself in 3rd place behind our tied lead riders, Darlene and Douglas. If this keeps going on, though, Stanley's not in a position to contest anymore. This group of 4 at the front is going to be the entire story of this race. Kelly Darlene, the front rider in the group. Taylor Crane, the second wheel position. Becca Kawaoka in white in 3rd. And the 4th rider in that group is Itai Malikoff, another junior jumping in with the field.
And, of course, anybody out of that 4 could win it with those 3 points at the end and total of 5 laps to go.
No question the race is wide open. Darlene trying to build on her resume. She's now alone in the lead with 3. On deck will be the snowball for the Cat 1-2 men. Cat 1-2 men first. So the snowball is coming up next. Trying to decide if we're going to go for it or not. Becca will go ahead and go for the point there. Kawaoka sitting in a tie for second with 2 now. Now Kelly coming back into the mix. Picking up another point. Darlene alone in the lead with 4. She's trailed by Kawaoka and Douglas, both with 2 apiece. Darlene, our current race leader, at 4 points. Getting down to the end of this one, I believe our race leaders are going to be seeing the bell this time around, so they're about to come into the all-important 3-point sprint. Taylor Crane still driving the pace in the back straight, and then she's overtaken almost every time coming around. This time it'll be Darlene picking up another, and she's got 5 on 1 to go. 3 points to the leader next time around. 3-2-1 First across the line next lap. We got 5 points to race leader Kelly Darlene. She's in the second wheel right behind Taylor Crane, who is yet to get on the leaderboards. Seems like she's out there doing some workhorse tonight and kind of leading things around on the back straight for the field. Not really trying to go for it through the home straight, but that's going to leave room for Itai Malakoff and, of course, Becca Kawoka to challenge on this final sprint. We'll see how they come across. One to go. And Taylor driving it for the 3. She's looking right there. It is. Kelly for 3, Taylor Crane 2, and I got Becca Kawoka getting 1. There's some cheering. I like it. I hear you down there. Is that me to give that? Next field, we can bring you on up to the rail. Track is clear. Our Cat 1-2 men to the rail, please. There's a warning in that previous race to 217 for an abrupt up-track movement. Again, a warning to racer 217, Kawoka, for an abrupt up-track movement. That was not on the final laps. That was earlier in the race. Our next field coming on up for their 15-lap snowball, about ready to get started.
So this is 2 points to the leader on each lap and 1 point for second place. And it does not change even on the final lap. Final lap is also worth 2 points and 1 point. And they're going 15 laps here. Oh, jeez. What did I do? I'm sorry.
That'll be our next race tonight.
Oh, okay.
The tempo. But this snowball is an increasing one, like the Avalanche, just not unknown. So you remember that first race we did tonight? That'll be the exact same. Coming after this, we do have a JB tempo, which will follow that 2-1 rule. That'll be our next race.
Gotcha. So this is 15 laps.
Yeah, so the last lap is worth 15
points. Simple math that works for me. It's the English language that I seem to be having trouble with.
There you go. So they're in their neutral again. We'll get them started coming around on this turn 4 as long as they're still together. And then we will be watching those lap cards count up for the snowball. On deck is the Cat 3 men for the JB Tempo. Then we have the open crawl. And then finally, everybody's favorite event, the Clip Bar Kitty Kilo coming up.
Oh, gotcha. As soon as they move, I can talk. Oh, sounds good.
Glad you want to do a race description, though. I'll do more of those. More of a break, too. Now, it's pretty clear math, as you said. Each lap is going to add up. I mean, why go for the first laps? If you know it's only 1 point and the last sprint's worth 15, why not just save the energy? Well, you may not come out here tonight thinking that you're going to be the fastest racer, but this might be an opportunity to start working towards a top 5 finish. Even if you may not win it tonight, these early points can help you kind of separate yourself from this field. Nolan Adams for Dyna Racing looks like he's going to go for the first one. These two off the front are hoping to collect early points. Nolan Adams being relentless here, says, no way, I'm taking another. And you can see Brett Walker looking around going like, hey, man, I thought we were in this together, but not tonight. They swing up to the top as Brett is not able to find any points out of those early efforts. Nolan Adams now in the lead with 3. Our regular season is coming to a close, but I'd love to encourage everybody to make sure that in the off season that you're checking in with our website and, of course, our social media fronts. We've got some great things going on in the off season. The most important which is our fundraiser, our auction that goes on every year in the spring. Helps us raise funds for our upcoming operating budget, and we'd love to get some help on that. So if you see anything on the website or a newsletter, we'd appreciate hearing from you if you've got items to donate or any services that you think might do well in our community. If you're looking for that, we would love to hear from you. Again, you can go to our website to find our contact information, velodrome.org. And better yet, if you are excited to try racing yourself, you can come out here and be a part of our community by signing up for one of our adult classes. Those will be back next year, so don't forget to check the website in the spring or our newsletter to sign up for an adult class next season. Okay, so while I'm doing some promo work there, it's Alex Siegel picking up the previous sprint. And before that, it was Dave Richter. So I have Siegel in the lead with 4. Adams and Richter tied with 3 points apiece in second. Found Cycling Guild looking around saying, he snuck up on me. Christian Miller for 10 Speed Hero pops out of the field and finds himself now in the lead of the race after just one sprint. That's how the snowball works. Take the later sprints, you get more value for it. I'm interested that these two are against the rail right now, considering their ability to ride the long-distance effort. It looks like neither of them willing to do that work just yet. Although this might be some good value here. Maybe Miller racing a bit of a match sprint here, hoping to ride this one as fast as he can late in the lap. It works out for him. Miller picks up 6 more. Make it 11 for him. That's Brandon Russell for Found Cycling in the green, shaking his head and pulling up to the right and saying, it's not going to work out for me anymore. This might be Miller's opportunity to pick up big points and earn him in a good spot here tonight. If he can do this a few more times, it'll put him up there on the leaderboard and make him hard to reach unless some other riders can get multiple victories in the sprint. That's right. Give him some help here. He's on his own. 7 points now for Miller, added to his 11. Bring him up to 18.
Lengthening out his lead just a little bit there, about 110 meters. Tantalizingly close, but oh so far away sometimes when you're back in the pack.
I can't believe he's still getting these points. He's just in a great effort here. Miller getting more help from the infield. Make it 8 more. He's looking around deciding, should I do it again? He says, yep, I should.
That's 26 points right there.
Next closest rider is Alex Siegel with 4, sitting in second place. That's a 22-point gap right now. But again, these next laps are worth a lot. So if Christian can pick some up here, it's going to require another racer to pick up multiple victories to even get close to his totals. Our season leader, Andrew Karlberg, has been sitting in the field right now looking for his opportunity, not finding it yet as this field isn't willing to chase Christian down. 9 more.
This middle of the race has got some meaty points to it. More satisfying than the 1 or 2 points early on.
That number increase just starts to really accelerate. Before you know it, you're looking down going, how many points has this guy got? 35? What the heck? This isn't even a 40-lap points race. I think he's still looking around going, where's the rest of this field? He keeps expecting there to see somebody, and there's no one there. He's going to pick up some more. Make it 10. I think he's sensing it. He's riding in the slow lane now. He's picked up 45 points, and now he just says, I got to stay on the lap, and I'm good. That's Andrew Karlberg, the leader of our season so far for Broadmark Capital, popping out of the field at the most opportune moment he can to try to pick up some points. He's got to dig deep for a bit of a kilo effort if he wants to pick up more than this at 11 to go. Placing very well, of course, at Elite Nats with his kilo effort. That's why I bring that up. He's a speedy racer in that 1K distance. He's going to try to put in some effort here and make the field work for it. Next one is worth 12. Liquid Velo trying to play spoiler here and already realizing that's the way it's going to go. That's going to be John Bowie of the Liquid Velo squad now moving into second place with 12 points. Bowie trying to double up here. This is a great move for him at this point of the race. This will secure him a strong second place position right now. 13 becomes a total of 25 now is what I got him down for. Our race leader is still Miller with 45. Our leaders will be hearing the bell shortly as they're going to be seeing 14 on the cards, 14 points to the race leader, and I think that's going to be Richter moving into a good spot at the right time. If he can get the next two, he'll be in second place in this competition. Here goes Richter now with the bell. One to go. One to go. As it stands right now, it's Richter in third with 14, Karlberg back and forth with 11, Bowie still sitting in second with 25, and our race leader Miller has 45 points at one to go. And it will be Dave Richter for Found Cycling Guild taking the final 15 points, though he's finishing first on this last lap. He's in second on the overall finishing place with a total now of 29 points. And those 2 points are actually inaccurate. I have Richter down for 32 points is the more accurate number, but still good for second place overall.
So several different strategies there, and one of them works.
It was just finding that soft point in the race almost for Christian, right? Where it was just like, everybody was kind of like, nah, I don't know.
He chose the right spot. He gave it a good effort for those laps and made them count.
Good first race there for the Cat 1-2 men. And now for the Cat 3 competitors coming up to the rail. Oh, Cat 3's got some supporters here. They're clapping just for you guys coming up to the rail. That's all you got to do tonight. And Don's feeling great. This race about to begin is the JB Tempo. We'll have this up for a 12-lap event. We'll get them started in a sec with our officials team. So if you were to plot the value of these points races, the first three that we raced, that value would always be increasing in some way or another. And of course, the point a lap, not as exciting. It really is only the last lap that gets more valuable. In the JB Tempo, it's a flat line. Every single lap is worth the same. You get 2 if you come across the line in the front. If you're the second rider across, you get 1. So there are 2 points available, or 2 positions worth of points every single lap. That is different, but it never changes. It doesn't upgrade, doesn't go up or down. 2 points to lead the lap, 1 point to be in second. That's the JB Tempo. Now getting started here after the neutral for the Cat 3 competitors here tonight. Marymore Crawl is on deck. They're followed by the Cliff Bar Kitty Kilo. We will be queuing those riders up shortly. Just before the crawl, we'll be calling for the Kitty Kilo participants. This race in particular pays to be fast at the right time. In the first lap, why not get it started right away as John Bravenik in the Solemn Consulting team, the blue, makes the move to start things off.
And if somebody jumps out, you might go with him because he might drag you along for second place in that single point.
Doesn't quite work out for Bravenik. Instead, it'll be Hunley finding 2. And that looks to be Chris Schoen finding 1 point on the lap. Our race leaders currently. None of our Vi-13 leaders jerseys out there. That neon colored kit, that is Henry Kaiser out in the mix, our season leader in this group. Trying to take some points off the field. He'll get 2 here. Looks like Mcclinton, the rider, picking up 1 on that lap.
Right off the bat, 4 different riders on the board.
Yeah, the tempo, especially early, we're going to probably see a nice spread of riders across this field, pick up points here and there, especially when you go too deep, because there's more variety, more versatility available in this field. Snoblin driving the pace, trying to hold on for some points. It looks like Spranger coming in. Oh, A little close to call there on the rider for 1. So Chris Wilson is called for picking up the 1 point there. And again, another sprint and a whole new set of riders picking up points, although Wilson will finally be the first to double down. Number 330 picks up 2 points there, while Hyun Lee picks up 1. Hyun Lee and Chris Wilson now become tied race leaders with 3 apiece. Point standings after that is Kaiser with 2, Spranger with 2, McClinton and Schoen with 1. This is Wilson still off the front, looking to just kind of get into a tempo for himself. Therefore the name, right? The tempo pays off. Why not just try to keep rolling with it, get a few more points here and there, putting him up to a total of 5 now.
Correct.
Wilson, 330. Our race leader right now, Chris Wilson for the Fountain Cycling Guild in the green, is at the front, hoping to find 2 more. He's got this effort here. Why not? McClinton's chasing him. He's going to hold on to make it 7 points. McClinton picks up another there. That's going to bring him up to 2. Wilson, the race leader, with 7. After that, it's Calvin Spranger and Hyun Lee in a tie for second with 3 apiece. I got Kaiser and McClinton with 2 apiece. Schoen sitting alone with 1 right now. Those points match our officials' records. Looking over to turns 3 and 4, that's Peter Snoblin on the move with the leader's jersey in tow. This could be a good situation for these 3 off the front now. Snoblin picks up 2. That'll be his first points of the race, while Kaiser now moves up to having 3 points, putting himself in a tie for second with Spranger and Lee. This will be 2 more points for Kaiser and 1 for Snoblin from the looks of it. Kaiser now in second place with 5. Snoblin moves in a tie. Snoblin in a tie for third. I have him with 3 points along with Spranger and Lee. Those are the riders in third place now. Kaiser in second with 5, and in first is still Chris Wilson. Wilson finds himself a little bit off the lead right now. The rider in the green with that bright green helmet. He's in the in-between spot between the leaders and the chasing riders now, trying to get back up there. The race leader might be losing that title if he's not careful, so that's why he's on the move. 3 to go, and Spranger takes 2, while Snoblin takes 1 more. And just like that, Kaiser finds himself tied with Spranger with 5 points apiece for second now. Wilson still in the lead with 7, though. Now caught up to the lead group, and he's hoping to get another sprint, riding up his momentum. You can see him using that momentum to carry himself to the front, but now he finds himself mid-sprint and being challenged by McClinton and Kaiser side by side at the front of this field. Kaiser looking for 2, McClinton 1 more. Kaiser is in a tie for the lead, just like that at 2 to go. Mind you, that's a junior out there. He's been putting in good form all season long, wearing that leader's jersey, and a strong rider out here in our Cat 3 field. Underneath that leader's jersey is the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team jersey, the black and blue. This coming into the bell lap. Snoblin now on the attack with Spranger on his wheel. That's going to be Joe Spranger in a good spot, trying to challenge for 2 here. Also putting himself into the lead if he can get there. Ooh, Spranger, Snoblin will go in that order. 1 to go. It's a 3-way tie for first right now between Chris Wilson, Henry Kaiser, and Calvin Spranger. Who will win the final sprint and win the race? Look is at the front of the sprint of 3 right now. They're coming up. It's Wilson and Kaiser coming up to the front. Snoblin's trying to abandon. He says, I can't sprint this thing. He pulls up to the right and slows way off. Chris Wilson in the green, flying through the middle. He was the one leading the race at the very beginning. He sat off the back, got back into it, and he got enough speed here to finish this thing. Make some noise here for Wilson. Impressive finish for him and a comeback victory. He had 7 for a majority of the race and didn't add anything until that final sprint, but give him 9 and the win.
He almost fell off the pack in the front there, too. gathered himself together, put it all together. You had fun calling that last 200 meters there. That was nice.
That was exciting. I mean, that's the sign of resilience, right, in a racer, is when it's like, you know what? I'm down right now, but I'm going to get back in this thing. Good to see.
Because it's a slow death when you're off the pack.
Yeah. Kitty Kilo competitors, if you are going to be racing tonight in the Kitty Kilo, we're going to get you over here at the end of the grandstands, please. Track is clear. Marymore crawl participants to turn 4, please. Crawl participants to turn 4. Time to see what you got in the slowest lap on the track. And there's a whole lot of juniors coming down.
I gotta say, we've got quite the youth movement there.
Nothing gets these guys organized more than like trying to show off their track stands in a crawl, let me tell you.
And you know, $1 and $5 bills mean a lot to them too.
They are a motivated bunch. I see our leaders jerseys from our junior fields getting out there. I see a couple of our riders from the Cat 1-2 field joining in on the mix as well. I see our Cat 3 leaders jersey who just got done racing and being in a sprint. He's out there again.
Well, you never know how long they're going to be standing. So, you know, their recovery time could be 3 to 5 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. And then after this, of course, we have the Kitty Kilo coming up. So a little bit more time for the athletes to rest up after the crawl before the next block of races. And then also, of course, we get to watch our youngins come out here and have some fun. So we look forward to that. That's coming up next. So we will have the Cliff Bar Kitty Kilo participants over at the end of the grandstands. We're queuing you up so you can get ready to come onto the track. In brief, this race is going to start with the sound of a whistle. After that, we have a hidden timer that we are watching. Once the timer expires, we're able to ring the bell saying 1 to go. Before the bell rings, you can't put your foot down. You can't rest on somebody. You can't lean on anybody. You can't hold the handrail. You can't fall off your bike. You can't leave the track. You can't cross the finish line. So you got to stay within this area between where they started and the finish line under your own power. You got to keep your bike upright. And if you come up to the rail and take a real close look, you'll see, oh, nice, the snack. Look out. That was a near catastrophe there.
He's hoping for a quick bell. Nope.
I think he was just hoping for a start. It's all right. I've seen that a lot out here this year. We've got a lot of competitors still in this field, though. The goal is to wait for that bell and then go for the one lap. Oh, Keeg's foot comes down. Shoot. If you come up to the rail and take a close look, this is where you get to see the bikes in their glory. No brakes, no shifters. Fixed gearing. That's what allows them to do the back pressure to keep them upright here in the positions that they're in. Have you ever tried to do a track stand before?
Oh, yes. In my youth.
Not easy.
But 10 or 15 seconds is all I like. That makes me look good at the stop sign. That's all I need.
There you go.
Some of the riders are running out of track here.
Still lots of juniors in the field.
And then there were 10.
Our winner of the last Cat 1-2 race coming up to the line, hoping the bell might be ringing. Oh, and there goes Kelly and Christian as well. So 2 more exiting the track just like that. Let's see what we got left here. Continues to narrow down.
Up front here, he just scored a substantial bill right at the finish line there.
Is that Joe down there?
He's got 16, 18 inches to play with.
I mean, Joe equates the track stand to money making. That's his specialty. I'm sure if I look down, he's still going to be in this lineup. There he is. Okay, so Joe's still in it. JC is using the whole track. There's JC Pyle coming up to the line. Couple of the elites still hanging out here. I see our leaders jersey of the Cat 1-2 field. Carl Berg is still out there. Brett Walker in the mix. I see a lot of juniors still left out here. Carl Pratis sneaking up towards the line a little bit. Oh, now challenging up at the finish line. Oh, no, okay. Good Velo exiting.
He went away with a cash prize right at the end there, though. 7 riders left, all looking good.
Tension building. How much longer until the bell rings before the one-lap sprint? JC looking tireless here. A little bit of back pedal action there to keep him upright as Carl Pratis coming up to join him now.
Sneaking some peeks at our man at the finish line with the bell, trying to read some body language there.
He's being very coy, very calm. Oh. Man, the field is thinning out quickly. Top 3 get money. You heard that, Brett?
He started the heart.
There he goes.
Go.
There's a little bit of traffic issues down there as we sort out who's going to take the sprinter's lane.
You got a nice tight bunch there.
Indeed. JC Pyle at the front is out of the saddle with Brett Walker chasing him down. I jest because in the one sprint effort here, the gearing and the size of Brett's going to be a big advantage as he's the one to make it through all these juniors. He better come around the corner at the front. Here he comes. Brett leading it out. Who's going to challenge him? Who's challenging him in the sprint here? Oh, yeah. Kaiser coming in for second, and I think that's going to be Gilchrist, the third right across the line.
But how much money does he have in his pocket? Was he really the big winner? We don't know.
All right, coming on down to the track now. We've got the Cliff Bar, Kitty Kilo. Is this one group or two groups? I see another group. All right, very good. So our first group coming on out now. Push bikes. Oh, yeah. Getting the balance bikes out here. Striders and all sorts of fun stuff. Going to be taking a lap around the track, and then we'll bring out our second group. Getting instructions there at the start line, about ready to go on their fun lap around the track. And go. Now they're off. If you haven't put your hands together and made some noise yet tonight, now is the perfect chance. I mean, they're clearly having fun. Why aren't you?
So what's the strategy here, Corey?
Stay upright.
Go, go, go. There we go.
Look out for the others. Oh, they did a fun front lap. Very good. I should have known that where they were starting. All the way to the grass.
All
Keep
right.
it going. Keep it going.
Just going all the way through. Pushing through. There we go.
Coach Schoen there leading the way.
Nicely done.
This is where the scouting reports begin.
All right. The guy who crossed the line first is doing the happy dance. Not taunting, just celebrating with the others. There we go. And second place is playing to the crowd. Got to work the south end turn there.
Yeah, that one's mine. She doesn't know how to stop, I guess. She'll keep it going. It's cool. Oh, this suddenly become
There
cross
we go.
event here. Yeah. Where's the run up?
The officials have taken a break too. They are fortunate on that because nobody got called there. There they go.
They really took to heart to look out for the kid on the push bike still. You can pass her. You'll be fine. I promise. So the big bike's taking a full lap. Having some fun out here. You too can get a kid out on the track. We do this throughout the summer months. Obviously, today is kind of the last chance for 2019. But when we come back in 2020, first and third Fridays of the month are our traditional Kitty Kilo nights, so you can kind of watch for that. We will continue to run this program next year, and it's a fun event to get riders out on the track.
We have a rider down.
Rider down there between 3 and 4. We'll watch to see if he's okay. Popping back up real quick. Nice. All right. Here comes our first finisher from the full lap. Nice work. Whoa, the second effort. Whoa.
Stretching it out. There we are.
Slingshotting
Second
there.
response, it comes right back at him.
Same helmet, same bike. I think they might be blood related.
You know
How
what
about
we
the
did
grid
not-
here, guys?
Yeah, you know what we did not see there? We did not see any coasting. These kids kept her moving all the way around. Well done. Dusts himself off. Finishes. Wave to the crowd there.
Check out those wheels.
The wheels and the classic handlebar pom-pom things.
Man, I love that.
Sure,
All right, kids, this away. Come on across, back on up the way you came in. This away. Oh, yeah, I can hear them. They're down there figuring out who won.
This guy's got his own bell to celebrate. He's got a cargo bike on there. Slap some panniers on there. He can go cross-country riding.
All right, good sports, one and all. That was some fun, and we just love if we can give one more round of applause for all the Kitty Kilo participants and, of course, the most important people, Mom and Dad, for their support.
I just noticed the coaches of these riders all sort of look like them, only larger versions.
Yeah, so wait a second. What's going on? Oh, yeah. Coming to the rail, the juniors for their 8-lap Belgian win and out. Juniors, come on down. This is the first race we've been really talking. Every lap has something to say. Like, you know, you have to update points. You have to, it's just like, blah, you know, you can't just like sit and talk about Masters Nats because I want to kind of update people on that, you know. Have you fill in some blanks about, anyways. The Belgian win and out. This is the backwards win and out, in case you've watched some track racing here before and have seen that event go on. The first bell will be at 7 to go, so that'll be a short lap after the race begins. That's going to be for 4th place. Every lap after that is going to be a rest lap, followed by another bell for another place, so that'll be 3rd, rest lap, bell lap for 2nd, and then we'll come into that 1 to go sprint for 1st, 5th, and everybody else, of course, finishing at the same time. So this is the Belgian win and out. The last bell is the most valuable one. Kind of a tricky mind game. How early do you want to go? If I wait a little longer, I might get 3rd or 2nd. But if you wait too long, you might just get beaten, not get any of those positions. That's a tough mental game for the juniors to have to plan out their strategy. You haven't picked up on this. All of our group races like this that start from the rail usually start with this neutral, so we'll wait for the officials to start the race. Now we'll start counting down those laps. Next lap, the bell's ringing for 4th. Next lap, bell's ringing for 4th place.
So if you give it your all and don't quite win 4th, holy cow.
Ouch.
Yeah. However, there's time to recover, and you might be up there at the end, so...
I mean, not that it's the exact same thing, but Chris Wilson, we saw a couple races ago, get out early, pick some points, and then the race is getting away from him, and all of a sudden he works his way back into it. Same thing can happen here. If you go for 4th, don't quite get it, maybe you end up winning the race. You don't know.
You've engaged your muscles. They're ready to go.
Absolutely. Our junior's playing it nice and patient here. This is why I like the Belgian win and out, though, is because it does give an opportunity for someone who feels like, you know what, I'm looking around this field. I'm a 7th or 8th place rider. I kind of know where I sit. You know, I know where my speed is. But in this race, maybe those riders that are above me are going to wait to sprint later. They're going to overestimate their abilities. I could go for this 4th place and suddenly find myself finished after only 2 laps.
That was a fairly relaxed first lap there, so anybody here has got to be thinking, I can do this one.
You can see riders looking around. That looks like Heeglin starting to move forward a little bit. She feels an opportunity. Indigo Vining also in a big sprint here. Oh, what good timing for Vining. He's starting to speed it up here to speed. I want to get done this race. Keeglin's trying to hold on to it, but it looks like Indigo finds it. And just like that.
Right. So they got 4th place secured, and you get off, and you've got more time to recover for the next race.
Now, if you remember, again, this isn't a totally fair comparison, but in the last race the juniors did, he was not in the front 4. He was about 6th, 7th in the overall field. He just bumped up because of the opportunity this race provided him. That's kind of a cool place to be in this Belgian win now for the juniors. So nice work for Indigo finding that window there. This bell will be for 3rd, as it's now Keegan Robinson still at the front. 3rd place on the line next lap. 3rd place. Who wants 3rd tonight? 3rd place. Now, this is a rider that's got a score to settle tonight. Danielle Scoville did not get a lot of action in that first race. She was in the front group, but ended up 4th place overall. Now she finds herself at the front with JC Pyle saying, I'm here. I probably should try to sprint too, but I got to win this sprint if I want to get out of here. He's starting to close the distance. Scoville's got a big effort here ahead of her. Scoville versus Pyle. Scoville still has it right now. Danielle Scoville is on the way. She'll grab it. 2:07 is finished up.
But he keeps moving it along there. Just 2 more laps to snag 2nd place. That's the thought process there.
Why waste the effort that you've already put into the race? You might as well keep carrying this effort you've already done and see what you can do with it. And he is leaving racers in the dust at this point. JC getting encouragement on the infield. He's got to go ahead here for the 2nd place finish. 1 to go for 2nd place. That's all he's got to be thinking of. 1 more lap, 1 more lap. Joe Spranger says, 1 more lap, 1 more lap. I can catch him. They're starting to accelerate, trying to hold on to his pace. I'm not sure they're going to get up there in time, though. JC doing a nice job holding off the counter charge. It's going to be Ben and Joe in the chase, and they're getting close, but I don't think they're going to get there. JC's doing a great job just staying on top of his gears, keeping rolling that thing forward, not trying to give up on the tempo. He keeps digging a little deeper. I think he's going to find it. All right. Yeah, he's hurting after that effort. That was a great effort by JC to close that race down.
Down to about an 800-meter match sprint here.
Yeah, and they actually do have the luxury of a ton of track behind them, right? So it's for first place now between Jurassic and Spranger on the back straight. And behind them, they got 300 meters before the field's there. So like you said, match sprint time. They're just racing for top speed at the right time. You don't want to be in the lead when you don't want to be in the lead. You want to be on that back wheel and be able to come around at the last second. So they're going to be racing it very carefully. Here's our field, seeing 2 to go. 2 to go. This race out of this group of 4 will be for 6th place on the overall finishing orders. These 2, here's the crazy thing about the Belgian winning out. One of them is going to get 1st, the other gets 5th. So a big difference between coming 1st and 2nd on the line on this match sprint. Ben Jurassic in the black and green. Now he wants to take it. Joe Spranger in the leader's jersey. Oh, he's faking him out. Oh, he's dragging him all over the track. Joe's like, stop doing this.
And you thought sprint night was Monday night. No, it's Friday night in the juniors.
This is good sprinting between these 2. Ben's having some fun. He's going to try it again. Joe's still in the sprinter's lane. He's got the shorter lap now, and Joe's got some great top speed. It's just a straight-up drag race. Look at these 2 juniors taking it out on Friday night. Make some noise. Who's going to take it? Oh, it's an all-out effort. Whoa! Joe Spranger, I think, unofficially on the inside.
Looked like about 12 inches there. Well done, guys. Holy cow.
We've been waiting all season to see some cool stuff from the juniors like that kind of matchup. That close. They're going to go with the video replay to confirm, because that was an excellent sprint from those 2. The sprint's for 6th place. Let's see who's coming up. That's Caleb Prescott coming out of the field. Oh, I don't think Caleb quite held on to that one. I think it's going to be Isabella picking that one up. Nice sprint. Women, come on down, please, to the rail. Our competitors in the women field, please. That just makes you feel good. I just love watching the kids race. We're watching those kids all season long, and there's some things you kind of expect to see and some you don't. And that was some great effort put out by the kids tonight. So great racing by them.
It's an action-packed night here, so we don't have much time to talk. But Masters Nationals was this week. And today, in the men's 35 to 39 points race, Andy Baker took 2nd place. First place? First place for Andy.
In the points race, after he crashed,
Ooh.
he got back. He dusted him off. Got him. Said, I'm going to go win this thing. That's pretty cool.
Do they have those races up on video now? Excellent.
Some of them. Live streaming is, you know. One of the hard things about Masters Nats is that when you have all the age categories, he won his age category. He was second place overall in the race, though. That's a clarifier right there. So that makes sense.
On the side I went to, it didn't have that breakdown. Okay.
That's right. But in the most important thing, of course, Andy Baker becoming another national champion here from the Jerry Baker Velodrome. So, and yes, that's Andy Baker, the same family of Jerry Baker, coming in strong form in the last couple of years and making us proud there today down there in Southern California at our Masters Nats competition. And we're proud of the streaming we do around here on Friday nights, but sometimes not everything's available by video for Masters competition at Nationals yet. We're hoping that's, there's some folks that are helping us out with that are down there attending. And I know Andy was doing some live streaming earlier, and some of our other friends from around the country that are at the event. So you can catch some of that action down there, that's for sure.
I think it's fantastic that we've got the technology to go to the instant replay here tonight on those close races.
Speaking of going back to the close finish, it is called official that Joe Springer did win that very close sprint in that last race. So congratulations to him, and a good race between him and Ben.
This is just my second week up here watching him cross the finish line, and the missing outs. Holy cow, that's got to be even tougher watching that rear wheel of the last in a large bunch. Holy cow.
Yeah, those are tough to call out here for sure. No question about it. This is going to be a win and out for our women. So in the win and out, we've got a 4x3 format for the bells to get riders out of the race and winning. It's back to the normal order. So unlike the Belgian win and out, this one, the first bell is for first place. So if you want to win the race, you only got to make it a couple laps. Get a bell and go win that lap. So at 10 to go, next time around, we'll hear a bell telling them that it's the sprint lap. In fact, that's not going to be coming up here in just a second. And that'll be for first place in the win and out for our women's field. So you can tell already that things are fast. They're trying to make it hard right away. And I think I know some riders in this field that they're trying to make it hard for. Here comes that bell. First place next time around. And your early exit from the race is another reward you get. Not only do you win, you get to be done early. That's Taylor Crane leading the lap with Kelly Darlene in second wheel. Becca Kawoka in the third wheel spot. I think this move was trying to make it a little tough on Stanley Douglass, who's now trying to get in position. By keeping the field fast, he had a lot more work to do to keep on to the tempo of this overall field. And now Darlene in a great spot to try to go get this win, trying to stay ahead of Becca Kawoka, and it looks like the body language everybody else is, you got it. Darlene flying across the line there. 113 called out of the race officially, and picking up the first place.
But even if you don't win, you're still well ahead of the pack and poised to make a play for second place here in just 2.5 laps.
I think the tall order is going to be for Stanley Douglass to try to hold on to Kawoka and Crane. If he can do so, he'll be in a place to contend along with the rider in the white and the black here. Kawoka at the front of the field, or the front of this whole race, I should say. Bib 217, bib 123. That's Taylor Crane. Passing under the turn 1 and turn 2 signs over there, you can see our friends Pi at Broadmark Management LLC and Greg Cycles. Thanks for another fantastic season of support from them. They step up financially in big ways year after year to help make racing a reality. So our thanks to two of our biggest sponsors once again for their support in 2019. 7 to go. That's the bell for second place. Taylor Crane sitting on the front. Second place next lap.
They both kicked it up a notch there.
So I think, again, the goal is just to keep people away, right? Just separate riders out. Let's make this field smaller. Let's just make this about you and I racing now. So it's going to be Crane and Kawoka coming to the line. Kawoka will take her opportunity here to pick up the second place. Next bell will be for third place, and this is giving an opportunity for 3 riders to come back up to the front that weren't there before. I see Itai Malikoff bringing up to the front position. Along with him is going to be Diane Zeta in third wheel spot now, as well as Stanley Douglass, the 4th in that front group, now coming into turn 3. Taylor Crane, the rider in the black, sitting at the front of that field, continuing to do her favorite job tonight, leading the group around until the time for the sprint. So here we come into 5 to go. They will hear a bell next lap for third place. And they're chasing group of 3, also seeing 5 to go. Been talking a lot about our juniors tonight. It is worth mentioning that we now have a registered team of some 35 participants under the Jerry Baker Juniors colors, the black and the blue. We'll be back next season to get some more riders to join up. So if you've got a young person in your life that might be looking for a team or an activity to join up in, we'll have more information again about how you can get registered in the off season next year. Look for that. If you have someone that was looking for a team or maybe looking for a fun summer thing to participate in, a way to get in shape, be active, have some fun in those summer months, the Jerry Baker Juniors team will be opening back up for registration this offseason ahead of 2020. Diane Zeta down the back straight is going to try to take the lead on this sprint with Itai Malikoff trying to read the wheel and see if he can get into some slipstream before making the attack. He's in a good position. It's going to be Malikoff and Zeta. Zeta already starting to push off the pressure a little bit as Malikoff has the speed necessary. Itai Malikoff officially the winner there, called by our officials. One sprint left to go, and Diane Zeta finds herself in the perfect position to close this thing out as the final sprint is just 2 laps out. She'll hear the bell next time, and that'll be good for 4th place. Coming up next, the winner's race for the Cat 1-2 men. Winner's race, Cat 1-2 men on deck. One to go. Final lap for Diane Zeta, doing a big effort here to stay away from the chasing riders. She should be able to collect on this 4th place finish next lap. One to go. One to go. We might be able to get a few more updates about our Masters Nats coming up over the next couple races, but with 18 athletes down there and already a nice bevy of medals, we are very proud of our local competitors, and we're proud of our finishers here on our women's race, as that's going to be Zeta getting 4th place, and a good sprint here between Edwards and Gilchrist. Peter will come out in front there in that final sprint, and our riders will make their exit on the back straight, as we have just a few more athletes to finish up. And it is now open. Cat 1-2 competitors, please, to the rail for your winner's race. Next field up to the rail, please. Cat 1-2 riders to the rail for your race. And this next one's a little bit crazy, so we're going to do our best to announce who the winners of these sprints are in the middle of the race so that everybody else knows it's time to get off the track. This is going to be our winner's race. Not one we've raced a whole lot here at the Velodrome, but we have tried it a couple times this season. We look forward to a 15-lap winner's race about ready to start with our Cat 1-2 competitors now coming to the rail. So in brief, the winner's race is essentially 4 sprints to qualify to compete for the 5th sprint. So in the first 4 sprints, if you win that sprint, you now are qualified to stay in at the end of the race. If you've already won a sprint and you go for another one in those qualifiers, it doesn't count. You can win 2 or 3 of them. It doesn't matter. You just need to win 1. So let's say you win 2. Well, we just don't even count you. The second rider across the line then will be the winner. So once we figured out who those 4 riders are that qualify for the final lap, the rest of the field must exit, and then it is only those 4 riders left at the end of the race to compete for the top 4 positions.
So I guess the obvious strategy is win that first sprint and then recover.
That is the nicest recovery period, but then the mental game is this: I wonder how many other guys out here are thinking the same thing. How hard is that sprint going to be to win?
Yeah, possibly let them go and pick off that second one.
You just never know. That's one of the fun things about this, is how mental this game can be when you add in all of these intermediate points and opportunities. I wonder how these guys will play it out, as I haven't seen this field race it yet, so looking forward.
So if you win a sprint, you still need to stay on the lead lap, though.
That's correct. You don't just get sit up and
Right.
that's not going to do it.
Would look like a Madison then.
Right. 15 to go, and our first sprint's a couple laps out before we get to see our first qualifying event. Now, if you want the best way to stay up to date on everything in relationship to the Velodrome, including updates in regards to our Masters Nats competitions, the best place to go is our social media venues. We'd love to point you to our Facebook page. You can find us by searching for the Jerry Baker Fan Zone on Facebook, and you can give us a thumbs up there, and every time we post or share something, you'll get notified. Of course, if you haven't already given us some love on Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at JB Velodrome on those 2 fronts. If you give us a follow there, another great place to get news and updates and any changes going on here around at the track. Finally, of course, the hub for all information about the Velodrome, where we host all of our documentation, all the great information about our nonprofit, as well as our full schedule and calendar, is at velodrome.org, home of everything related to the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome. And our first bell ringing at 13 to go. Alex Siegel wants to try to get qualified here. The rider in black at the front of this thing with John Bowie chasing him down. It looks like the Rocket's on the move as well. Richter trying to take this first sprint.
Wow, that's a lot of speed.
Isn't that incredible? Just from where he was to there he is now. Richter knows how to turn up the speed out of the field. That's exactly what he's going to do here. And the Rocket should qualify. So he can continue to ride out here as if he wants to. In fact, if he does that, and the other qualifiers are all behind him, then he's got a great advantage coming into the end of the race. But in terms of the qualifying sprints, he no longer is worried about those. It's the 2 riders behind him in the rest of this field that need to find their place. John Bowie, though, I mean, what is that, 115 meters, 125 meters or something? It looks like he opened up a pretty big gap for himself, the rider in the black and the green. Next closest to the lead and in a great spot for the next sprint. I never thought of this winner's race as almost looking like a 4-person like tempo, right? You can kind of create a little time trial off the front and kind of just leave everybody else in the dirt.
Definitely working together a little bit up front. Being hung out to dry a little bit in 3rd spot, but
yeah, they're even exchanging efforts. So this kind of looks different than I might have expected to play out, but because Richter knows that if he's out in front of the rest of the qualifiers, it's to his advantage. Even though he knows he's in the final sprint, might as well be ahead of everybody else while you're at it. So Richter won't not be wanting to sprint this. So it's going to be Bowie's sprint to take, with Siegel in the chase now and a little bit off of his pace. So we should likely see Richter and Bowie, our 2 qualifiers. And after he qualifies, I'm also expecting to see Bowie slow up. As you can see now, Richter is also slowing off the pace. Bowie coming around the corner, still at the front here. And Christian Miller is trying to come up to him in time. He won't make it. I had to stay off the mic on that one because Christian was trying to play the stealthy ninja move there. But again, where's Miller now? He's out way off in front of the field. So he may be able to find the next qualifying sprint. Christian's looking for another lap to be away from this field before the bell's ringing, and he might be able to find a qualifying sprint for himself here in the winner's race. Nolan Adams trying to drive the group back up there. They're working a little harder than they were before to catch the lead.
Yeah, the pack is working together. Oh, they relaxing ever so slightly right there.
This gap, though, is a lot different than the previous one. But when Christian made his attack, the gap was about 115, 125 meters, somewhere in there, and he wasn't able to make it. This gap, there's sprinters in that field that'll close that down in half a lap, no problem. So we'll see how this plays out. If somebody wants to challenge, Christian Miller says 7 to go. I'm bib 7. Here's my lap. I got to go. Oh, yeah. Look out. Here we go. Brandon Russell thought this was the time to go, and he's bringing with him a shark in the water. Look out for number 2, the leader's jersey of Andrew Karlberg. This is what I'm talking about. This closing speed is going to be a heck of a lot different this time than it was the last time, and Karlberg just has to do a little bit more work here to take it around the corner. He's in the perfect spot to take this qualifying sprint, and in he comes. Karlberg will find it. That's what you got to do. Miller abandons the mission. Brandon Russell, however, thinks maybe I can qualify for top 4. So now he's going to be the rider in that dark green off the front of the field, hoping that he can join in with the likes of his teammate Richter, who qualified in the first sprint. This will be the last opportunity to make it in. So Richter back in the field is already in. Karlberg here off the front. The leader's jersey is now in as well. And they're joined by John Bowie, number 32 in the black and the green. He's almost the last rider in this field, right in front of his teammate. One more rider to join. Will it be the Fountain Cycling Guild rider, number 26 off the front with Karlberg, or will someone in the field find their way up there in time? If not, they're going to be getting off the track here awfully soon.
You come and win this last sprint, though, you're kind of almost toast going into the final. It's going to come awfully quickly to you.
That's a hard way to go. Bell's ringing. This could be what Brandon Russell needs. That's a nice gap in the field. It's looking a little bit sitting up, a little slow right now. Last chance to get in. The minor positions are set here, and technically 5th place still a big deal in our field, so the first rider across the line that's not a qualifier will be getting 5th on this lap. Looks like Brandon Russell will be our next qualifier. The sprint's for 5th between Walker and Robson. Walker should be our 5th place finisher. If you did not qualify, you are now exiting the track. Non-qualifiers exiting the track. The only competitors should be Bowie, Richter, Karlberg, and Russell. Everybody else is going to be exiting on this lap. So now we're going to see our field of 4 coming together, and there they are in turn 3, almost waiting for each other to kind of bunch themselves up and get set for these final couple laps. You can see the rest of the field has made their way off, and now our winners, the top 4, have found their way here through the qualifying sprints, finding their moments and their opportunities. We've got Andrew Karlberg, our season leader, sitting there along the rail and watching for the next move. Right behind him is Brandon Russell in the dark green. In the black and green, John Bowie. And then finally, also for Fountain Cycling at the end, is Richter, the winner of the first sprint. And as Kevin mentioned at the beginning of the race, the most rested out of all the sprinters, really. So we'll watch to see how this one plays out. They are getting the bell next lap. On deck is the Cat 3 men for the win and out. Cat 3 men win and out is coming up next and awfully fast here. We've just got a lap and a half of racing left. Starting to bring the field a little bit up to speed. Everybody just wants to follow Andrew around. He's not willing to make it quick, though. He knows he wants to win this race a little bit slower. Okay, here comes Brandon Russell now. He's ready to do some work. And the bell. It's 1 to go. 1 to go. Who's going to find this one? Russell lining it up. Karlberg finds himself in position. There comes Richter all the way from the back of the field. Look at the way he's up to get up to the speed. Karlberg is absolutely capable of covering this distance, though. So now Richter's got a real big task. Can he hold off the charge of the season leader? I think Karlberg's got a good run at it. Richter's still at the front. Karlberg, no question. Can you keep me away from this sprint? Here he comes. Karlberg around the corner. Our fast finisher in the region. Look at this. There's no way to beat that finish, man. Richter with an amazing race, again winning that first qualifying, and Karlberg closing it down in style. John Bowie there picking up 3rd place, and hey, Brandon Russell qualifying and getting in there. He says, oh yeah.
It's like the Academy Awards. It's the honor of being nominated for the final sprint there.
Yeah, very smart move actually on his part where he was on the track and made that happen. That was a hard sprint though. That was some fast finishers in there for sure. And on we go to the Cat 3 men now joining us for their 12-lap win and out. So as these riders go around on their neutral, just as a quick medal count of how we're doing, I believe the most recent medal count, this is according to our Facebook page, I've got 6 gold medals from Masters competition through the 3rd day for our local competitors here from the Velodrome, a couple of silvers, and I've got 4 bronze medals already totaled up from our competitors down there. 18 athletes competing across many different events down there in Southern California. So that is fun to watch. A couple of riders that would usually be here on a Friday night, not joining us tonight because, of course, they're still finishing up competition down there, and they'll be there for a few more days as they wrap things up in Carson, California.
And that's the same track the juniors rode on for their nationals. It's a wood track. It's very fast. So make sure you check out the Facebook page and check out some of the times for the timed events there. Very impressive.
And some fun pictures, too, of our riders on that beautiful indoor facility. Most tracks shorter than ours. Ours is a nice, big, gentle 400-meter track. The one down in Carson, not that big. Just for everybody's educational sake on that. We are a much bigger velodrome than most facilities would be, and a great place to learn on, which is one of the reasons why we really pride ourselves on trying to promote our classes and our clinics that we do here to get riders out and learning how to race on the track and build this healthy community of competitors that you see in front of you.
Even this track, the first time you go on it, as you go around the corner, you're thinking, how is my pedal not hitting? This is so steep. So I can imagine what a 250-meter track must be like.
Yeah, and for comparison, again, 23-some degrees in the bankment here. We're talking over 40 degrees on some of these smaller tracks that ones race on. The G-forces and the feeling of being pulled in the corner, a little bit different at those venues than it is here, but yeah, it certainly is a unique and interesting and powerful feeling to be on the track and racing at high speeds. Here in this race, the win and out back again. So the first bell is for first place. That's coming up here soon. So who wants to get the short race and win it tonight? At 10 to go, the bell's to win it. Let's see who's going to go for it. That's Ken Dong sitting at the front waiting for somebody else to make a move and doesn't want to start this thing too soon. Had a really good place to start. It's one of our juniors coming in from the back of the field. He had lots of daylight to work with as Carl Pratis now is on a big sprint. He's got Hyun Lee trying to jump in with that. Henry Kaiser also there. These are fast finishers in our group, and Hyun Lee says, oh yeah, I know how to sprint. Look out for this guy. Oh, Hyun Lee knows how to bring that bike up to top speed in no time. Hyun Lee giving a quick wave there and acknowledging, yes, I know I got that one. If you want to get the autograph from the most serious calves here on the Velodrome, you should come say hi to Hyun. And also just an incredible story. He is an inspirational athlete to me and many of us around here. He's working his butt off this season, having a great year. So good to see him win that race. As we're looking at 8 laps on the lap cards right now, and our next bell will be for second place. Seven to go. This will be for second place now in the win and out. Peter Snoblin, the rider in the gray jersey, finds himself moving to the front of the field. Chris Wilson, number 330, now up and out of the saddle, trying to take that front spot away. The leader's jersey on the move, but he's going to be left behind, and I think he's already starting to put a little bit of back pressure on those pedals to try to relax it down a bit. Is now Chris Wilson on the move, looking like he'll find the second place finish tonight.
Put a little distance on him there so that he could relax going to the line.
Nothing's easy, but he does. Sometimes these guys make it look easy the way they finish it up. But you know that there's some serious pain and effort going on out here. Of course, most of these competitors you're watching, you know, they're members of our community, and especially on a night like tonight. These are folks coming in from around the Western Washington area, just driving in after their day at work is finished up, their long work week, and this is what they've been looking forward to all week long. They get to come back and be with their family and of racers and be back in this community and competing in front of everybody on the Friday Night Lights. And we could not make tonight happen without the support of our local fans coming out and checking out what's happening here, because it makes it a special venue. It makes Kevin and I have a good time being able to talk to some folks about racing, and the racers know you're here, especially when you're cheering and stomping your feet and clapping your hands and making some noise, and we all appreciate it here at the Velodrome. So thanks for making Friday night happen, our fans that are here on the outside, and those on this live stream too checking in. We appreciate you being here and watching the racing. It means a lot to us and our community.
Virtually no wind tonight. Very pleasant night.
Very neutral. That is nice. Good for racing, too. It's nice and consistent across the track. At 4 to go, this is now for third place, as Aiden Mcclinton will take the next move off the front of the field.
He had been sitting in the back of the pack there for the first part of the race.
Aiden's certainly a good sprinter, and I think he's trying to play to his strengths, which is, I don't want to do the work. I'm going to wait for the opening to come, and this is his exact time to go. So off he goes to try and pick up third. Aiden Mcclinton off the front here and setting himself up for third place.
There we go.
And that leaves the rest of our field scratching their heads. Who's going to be taking fourth place? Peter Snoblin was off the front as Mcclinton was trying to take that lap. He'll pull up off the pace a little bit and find himself back in the field to try it again later.
So if you're inspired by these racers and want to jump in and do it, I know this year they had a fantastic deal for taking the track class. That's a 4-hour class. It only costs $50 for the 4-hour class, 2 nights of Thursday night racing, and then you get a punch card for 5 bike rentals. So it's a fantastic chance for not too much money. You can race for the whole season and get quite a taste of it here. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, if that sounds at all intriguing to you, please be sure to bookmark our webpage. And if you haven't already signed up for the newsletter, we don't send out a lot of them, we promise. We don't blast you with emails. We only hit you up at the really important times of the year. So if you want to know when the classes are open, give us a like on our Facebook page, give us those follows on Twitter and Instagram, and get signed up for the newsletter, and you will know the second the classes for next year opened up. Our great deal of getting some free rental bikes included with the class. It's all going to be coming back in 2020, so make a plan for it. 1 to go. The final sprint is for fourth place in the rest of the positions, as Carl Pratis couldn't find the first sprint. He's going to try it again. And Kaiser now coming to the front, our leader's jersey. He's got Joe Spranger right on his wheel, so the sprint is on between these two. When you're in the second wheel spot, you have a good advantage. Can Spranger capitalize? Kaiser trying to hold off the charge as Joe now comes to division. Joe with the finishing speed will find it. Just over Kaiser. He'll go 4 and 5, those two, in the overall race. Sorry, did I say Joe? Good job, Joe. Where are you, buddy? Man, you're so fast you don't even be moving to win. Good job, man. Sorry. Good job, Calvin.
That was some good hard racing, and they'll be coming back for a 5x5 points race to close out the night later on.
Indeed. Track is open, so we can bring up the stairs race teams to the rail. Stairs race competitors, come on down for your event. Stairs race.
They say that half of the success in athletics is picking good parents, good genetics. Here it's picking a good stair to lead you around here. Not that they're doing all the work. I realize that the juniors are going to be working hard here.
So the interesting wrinkle to throw into this race is I actually have 2 preems that will be rung from up here, and there will be a $10 cash preem and a $20 cash preem to the team that wins on those laps. Juniors, you will be splitting that money. or else. It is based on the juniors finishing order, not the elite. So the junior wins the preem technically. So be mindful of that. 2 preems mid-race. Do be reminded that the winning junior also is going to be up for $30 at the end of the race. So quite a bit of money in the stairs race tonight.
So just like the quarterback, NFL quarterback who's pulling down $20 million a year, buys cars for his linemen who keep him protected.
Yes.
It's kind of expected that they'll be splitting their preem winnings should any preems winnings come their way.
Do I see lights in the wheels?
We do see lights.
Oh, man,
you're not
Taylor.
drunk, we're getting away. There we go.
Is this a bike race or a party? It's both.
Safety first. You got to have those lights at night.
Yeah, you got to know where you are on the track. All right, so the stairs race is essentially a scratch race for the juniors, but they've got an elite to help them. So they are in pairs of 2, and we'll be talking about those teams as they're coming around. And wherever the juniors end up is what's most important. But the elite can help them. They can help them with their draft. They provide them with a little bit more speed through the middle part of the race. But at the end of it all, and on those preems, it's where the juniors come across the line that matters most. 10 to go. It is essentially a 10-lap scratch as these teams work together. And we'll see how this one plays out. It's always fun to watch these stairs on these juniors features nights. And one of my things I love to talk about in this race is what I think is a treasured thing about track racing, the opportunity for very young riders to meet people that have been doing this for years now, and for them to team up and to share a moment together on the track, to share some expertise between each other, to have that kind of that joshing back and forth moment that you often have with your peers and your colleagues. Well, and here at the track, it's between all the racers out here. We all share this love and this passion. So I love watching the stairs race, even just to watch these little connections that racers have with each other out here on this night and in the future. 9 to go. I got $10 for the team leading the lap. The junior to lead the lap gets $10 on the lap. $10 on the lap. So the trick in the stairs race is if the elite goes too hard, they drop the junior. So there is a communication thing going on. They have to talk to each other. Team yellow moving towards the front. That's going to be Andrew Carlberg. Oh, it's Christian in the yellow. Okay, so here comes the black and green, and I do think that's Chip Chase in the Liquid Velo team colors coming to the front, trying to win the first $10, and I'm guessing he's pulling around one of the Jurassic boys. I'm looking to see who it might be, and it looks like Team Liquid Velo finds it, and that's going to be Ben Jurassic finding the $10.
And right off the bat, we got a little separation with 4 teams up front. The team in yellow now 600 meters into their pole.
And why stop now? The yellow kit, sponsored by our friends at Broadmark Capital, coming through on the turn. That does look to be Christian Miller, teaming up with JC Pyle in that team at the front. Chip Chase and Jurassic in the black and green. For the FSA red team, that's going to be Joe Spranger, being led by, I think, Nolan Adams there in the red. And I got $20 to lead this lap. The team that leads this lap, which junior wants 20 bucks? 20 bucks to lead this one. Looks like the Gilchrist Architects team, the white and blue, is Andrew Carlberg and Danielle Scoville working together. That's the other team in that front grouping. So another cash preem coming around this time. And the leaders for the $20. JC's in a good spot. Just has to stay on the wheel of Christian a little longer. And it will be JC finding it there down in the sprinter's lane. 20 bucks richer for him. The big cash prize is to win. And that's 30 bucks on the final lap. We'll see who can find their way there. That team, the group of four in turn 3 is the front of the race. Everybody else in the chase.
Every team working well together, sticking it out, keeping it tight.
Yeah, the biggest thing is to stay on that wheel of the rider you're paired up with. That's the best way to get benefit. At 2 to go, I'm starting to see some movement there. The other thing about the stairs race is there's a lot of momentum and inertia that's built up because you kind of find where the team can stay together. The lead rider can go fast, but they can't go too fast, right? So they got to find the speed that they kind of stick at. And once you get going, it's kind of like a bowling ball. It just kind of, it gets rolling and it keeps rolling and it keeps going. And if you can find that pace and keep on it, then that's where you'll find success. So we'll see out of these teams. A couple of teams going to be getting lapped here as the bell's ringing. So they're going to be going into 1 to go as they're caught. 1 to go, 1 to go.
They must have done quite a bit of strategizing before because you got to, what if this happens? What if that happens? Because not always easy to communicate at 30 miles an hour.
A lot of contingency plans you got to be thinking of. Team Yellow having a hard time finding a wheel as they're going through these lapping moments, having to kind of go up out of the sprinter's lane. Team Red a little spread up too. It's going to be Team Yellow leading it out right now as JC Piles the closest to the finish. Can he win this thing? He's in a good spot, but here comes Team Green and Black. Oh, JC in the busy finish. Wow. That's tough with all these riders on the track, but a good job navigating, I must say, to the juniors and the elites helping him out.
Nice and clean through there with all those riders. Makes a grandpa like me nervous to see those kids out there in the tight groups. But
makes all of us a little skittish. I think that's a smart thing there to kind of go over the top and let this thing slow down naturally as a few more teams finishing up. Nice job for the Eric Johnson-sponsored white team of Pratis and Bunn working together. Greg Cycles green finishing up. Edge and Spoke black team. The Noon blue working together. Jerry Baker trying to do the pull-through. I see that. Don Wells. Team Red getting some high fives there. Nice job for our white and blue checkerboard squad as well. Again, unofficially, it is JC Pyle with his buddy Christian Miller being the winner in that race. And he picked up a $20 preem and $30 in the win. That's 50 bucks for a junior. That's like a month's salary. I think the track is clear enough. We can bring our next group up. That would be the women competitors. Competitors in the women's field can come up to the rail, please.
My first job was $1.30 an hour, so you're not far off on that. You can tell how old people are by what they made for their minimum wage when they first started.
We'll make sure to not start this thing too fast because we have some jersey swaps going on from that last stairs race. Our thanks to Vi13 again for helping us with all of that custom apparel you saw a moment ago. All those different jerseys come in the way of Vi13. If you're looking for some new custom apparel in the athletics department, you should check them out. They make the best in the biz. They are absolutely obsessed with seams and getting yourself as aero as you can get. Check out Vi13 online, and our thanks to them for helping us put together our great sponsored kits here in 2019. Our thanks to our deck builders, the Better Builders team, design, build, and remodel. Check them out. They're fantastic contractors here in the Seattle area. They'll help you with your interior redesign and remodel jobs. Would you guys keep it cool down here? What's going on? Oh, I see. Got it. I just thought it was Becca getting a little crazy. All right. Also, big thanks to our friends at Vision Tech USA. Full speed ahead. Our friends at Vision Tech USA, full speed ahead. They have been making the best gear in the business for a long time when it comes to carbon fiber and speeding up your bike, lightening up your ride. You want to check out their great products, and they were our title sponsor here in 2019 for the fastest race of the season, the Vision Grand Prix. Our thanks to our friends there for another successful season and their financial support. Joining us next year in Corner 3, it sounds like Stanley going to be going up to help support us in a big way. Our friends at Stanley, Seattle-made products. You'll check them out online at seattle-pmi.com for all of your vacuum-sealed needs. They've got, of course, the legendary Stanley bottle, including a whole line of some new travel gear and pints and all sorts of different shapes and sizes. And, of course, they're all stainless steel, the highest quality, made right here in the Seattle area. Stanley-pmi.com. We now come into the final block of races here. The stairs race was the first of the last 4. These next 3, though, in this last block are all points races. They all share the same set of rules, where a certain number of laps will be given between sprints, and each of the sprints are worth a certain number of points. We total it up and see what they're worth at the end. A normal points race is 5, 3, 2, and 1 at the front of the field. First rider gets 5, second rider gets 3, third rider gets 2, and fourth rider gets 1. The final sprint is worth double, 10, 6, 4, and 2. Lap the field, you get 20. The field laps you, you lose 20. In a 4x5, that'll be 4 sprints every 5 laps. So you'll get a bell at 16 to go, a bell at 11 to go, a bell at 6 to go, and a bell at 1 to go. That'll be the way this race and the next ones work. We're just going to change the number of laps and how many sprints there are in between. Group currently neutral. We're going to start out turn 4 in just a moment. On deck is the Cat 1-2s for their points race. A 7x5 coming up next.
So the women have raced 10 laps, and they've raced 12 laps, and now they're going 20.
This is tonight's featured race, so if you notice that little asterisk on your program, this one's worth a little bit more in the season points, so to win this one is more valuable than the other events in the program. When you look at the standings, it's probably the most important field is the field in front of you when it comes to the standings, as it currently stands. The race leader's not here. You don't see a leader's jersey out there. She's actually still competing in a lot of Masters competition going on this week. Kelly is trying to find a way to be in the top of this competition, taking advantage of that situation. Bib 113 currently second in the overall standings in the women's field, and close enough in the points that with a good night tonight, she will overtake Annette. So we'll see if she's able to put that together tonight, and that would be a fun story to follow. I think, though, Cat 1-2 men is already pretty much wrapped up based on the points differentials there. Yeah, not for third. I heard that. Very true.
Not for 17th either, he says. However, 15 and 14 is tight.
So again, the first sprint will be at 16 to go. The first sprint will be at 16 to go. There'll be a bell. The sprint is actually going to be on 15 where the points are awarded. First 4 riders across the line will pick things up. Our women's field right now, moving around the track with, of course, Taylor Crane lightening things up for us. We say, should we have a requirement that everybody has lights like that? That's kind of a cool feature.
Yeah, come Christmas time, we can all deck out our bikes out here.
Heck yeah, why not? Bell next lap.
He says as she goes faster, they go brighter. So apparently the centrifugal force is adding some energy to it there.
Man, now I really want a pair. Coming out of turn 4, we're getting ourselves set up for the first sprint of 4 in this event. 16 to go, bell's ringing for points. Points on the next lap. Light them up, Taylor Crane at the front, as it'll be Kelly Darlene and Becca Kaoka, the next closest riders. Diane Zeta also getting a position. It'll be Darlene first across the line with Zeta getting second across. I think that was going to be Taylor Crane and Itai Malakoff coming 3-4, but we'll confirm. Warning to number 407, Itai Malakoff for coming down on a rider. That's downward motion on another rider during the sprint. Warning to Itai Malakoff, 407, for coming down on another rider during the sprint while it's engaged. Correction, before the sprint was engaged. Thank you. Current race leader is Kelly Darlene, bib 113 with 5 points. Number 108 is Diane Zeta in second with 3. Taylor Crane is in third with 2, and Itai Malakoff is in fourth with 1 point. Next sprint will begin with the bell at 11 to go. Technically, that's bell next lap. Coming into our second sprint of 4, a race leader now sitting at the very front is our rider for the Jerry Baker Jr. team. She pulls up out of the way pretty quickly. She doesn't want to do work before the sprint. She's hoping to stay in the lead if she can for another sprint upcoming. Oh, yeah, that is an interesting wrinkle. I'm looking at the season point leaders for the Cat 1-2s down to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot, and especially John Bowie, who's here tonight, just 2 points off of 3rd place over Andy Baker. So that's probably already settled and that's probably already been figured out, actually, based on the earlier races tonight. So I think he's going to be a top 3 finisher in our season for Team Liquid Velo. So that'll be an exciting piece there. Kelly Darlene on the way for 5 more, holding on to the lead. Zeta for 3. Whoa! Very close for the 3rd and 4th place across the line. I've got Peter Gilchrist sneaking up there for 2, and maybe Taylor Crane on the inside for 1. That call is definitely unofficial. Our race leader should be double down now with 10 points after 2 sprints. That's Kelly Darlene with Zeta doubling down also with 3 points in 2 sprints. I got her with 6 in second place, waiting the official call to confirm the other places, since they're very close across the line between 3 riders. Next sprint will be at 5 laps remaining, the bell ringing at 6. Unofficially, my points totals are Taylor Crane, Itai Malakoff, and Peter Gilchrist, all with 2 points apiece in a tie for third after that sprint. So that will be rider 410 getting 2 last time, Gilchrist, and Malakoff getting 1 in the last sprint. Coming up next, the Cat 1-2 men for their points race, getting up here pretty soon. We see 7 to go on the laps right now. Beverage Garden still open for the rest of the night. Come on over. Again, any purchases in the Beverage Garden are one way to help raise money for the Velodrome. Every purchase in there goes right back in our pockets, and that's thanks to our 2019 beverage sponsors. We have been so excited and delighted to be working once again with Mac and Jack's Brewery right down the road. If you haven't checked out their tasting room and their recent work in creating some fantastic new brews, as well as their canning efforts they've been doing, you should check out their newest products. Locust Cider is up in Woodinville with some delicious ciders, and they've been recently expanding into beer themselves. And they've been blowing up nationally with the quality of their products. You need to check out their wide and colorful range of ciders. We've got one here tonight for you to try out, their cherry that you'll love. And of course, OS Winery also pouring this evening, a good Seattle name with great wines to boast. And they're here tonight pouring, so please come on over and support the Velodrome. Have a little bit of fun on a Friday night. You know you'll have a good time. Bell's ringing for another sprint. We'll see some more points here as the bells ring at 6 to go. Our second to last sprint incoming. That'll be Kelly Darlene getting it again, 3 in a row. Diane Zeta getting another 3-pointer. I think that's going to be Taylor Crane and Itai Malakoff going for the 2 and the 1 that time. In the lead with 15 points is Kelly Darlene. Again, our leader with 15. Darlene in second with 9. Diane Zeta. In third with 4 is Taylor Crane. In fifth with 3 is Itai Malakoff. And in sixth with 2 is Peter Gilchrist. Those points are unofficial. 4 to go. But the thumbs up from the officials lets me know that at least we are numerically on track. That's a good sign. It is important to remember that the last sprint is worth double points. So 10, 6, 4, and 2 to the final sprint as Becca Kawoka is going to try to speed things up down the back straight. Taylor Crane feeling like she needs to match that now. So Kawoka really trying to engage this from very far out. This is not even on the bell lap. So she's hoping to either thin the field out a little bit or just make it hard before the final sprint is fully engaged. She'll pull up it out of the way. She says, I did my job. Maybe now I can find a wheel and keep this thing going. 2 to go. Kawoka slots herself right in the middle of that group of 5 as Taylor Crane gets out of the way for Kelly Darlene, our race leader. She also doesn't want to do too much work, so she says, no, thank you. Someone else can do the work right now.
Now she's right back at the front again.
And unlike some riders behind her, Kawoka is really willing to do some work here. She's trying to make it hard on everybody. Itai Malakoff is on her wheel, and he has some points. Peter Gilchrist without points yet. He now finds himself near the front on the most important sprint of the race, the final one. 1 to go. 1 to go. Last race for our women's field this evening. 1 to go. Coming through turns 3 and 4, it'll be Taylor Crane, our speedster, at the lead for the Kimball Velo team. And then on her right-hand side is going to be Kelly Darlene coming into view. And Darlene for 10, Crane 6, Grillcrest 4, Itai Malikoff 2. And the official call there is bib 113 and 123 relegated to last place in the sprint for collusion. Number 113 and 123 relegated to last place in the sprint for collusion. Finishing order will change based on that call, so we will get those numbers out and printed as soon as we can. Track is clear. Next field, come on down. Thanks for being patient. It is time for the Cat 1-2 men for their points race. Come on over to the rail, please. Now on the track is our Cat 1-2 field for the 7x5 points race, a 35-lap event here to close out the season for these guys. And once again, the rules are all the same. The same rules apply from the last race, just a few more laps tacked on there and a few more sprints to make them have to go through a few more flaming hoops to end their season and, of course, their night of racing. And with the whistle, racing has now begun. 35 to go. Postseason, yeah. I think it's... Once again, this is the featured race for the Omnium, so for any of those places left over to be sorted out, this one's worth more in the overall Omnium than any other race tonight. And I think our top three are pretty well settled as we watch the numbers sort of figure themselves out. But the rest of the field still kind of contending for where they end up overall in the season. One other little extra notch that they get to take with them into the offseason is the right to wear a bib number next year. So if you're the top season placer in this group, you get to be number one next year. You get to wear that number into the next season. The highest placing in our women's field from this past year got bib 101, for example. And then that kind of carries down to the field. So that's kind of another extra incentive for the riders to kind of place high. It helps them come into the next season with a little bit of initiative, a little bit of momentum, and just a reminder of the work they did the year before. So we're not just looking at the top 3 positions in the Omnium. We really are interested to see how the whole field plays out. And in this final race, these riders will kind of get to settle the score, and everything between, about 4th all the way down in the rest of those places is there's a lot of riders that are awfully close in their overall standings.
One thing I found very interesting is that at this level, they're rarely taking 200-meter pulls. They rarely take a half lap pull. 5 guys peeled off between turn number 1 and turn number 3 there. Well, now everybody's peeled off.
And then the result of that is this tempo. And one reason for that, and again, I've seen a lot of racing here at the Velodrome. I've watched a lot of these riders over the years, and of course this season in particular. Just put it out plainly, this is a really fast top speed field, but not necessarily full of riders that love a consistent effort. So when it comes to the group mentality, it's a little bit more stop and go than it is just always go. And over our speedsters here, the Rocket going to come out towards the front of this thing. Whoa, look at that swing out by Power Cycling. Oh, okay. Wilson's almost coming out across the line in front of Richter. It'll be Richter, Wilson's, Adams, and Bowie, I believe.
Yeah, most of my experience is watching races from the back of the field. Every now and then working myself up to the middle of the pack. Nice to get such a great view up here and get a bird's eye view.
It is awfully fun being on the outside of the Velodrome looking in on all the hard work on display. Many of these fantastic athletes that we get to watch on a Friday night are doing more than just racing on a Friday night, of course. They race on the road. You can see them in some criteriums around the area.
And I believe the cyclocross season opens in about 6 days.
Yeah, it's a good time to be transitioning, which is another good reason to call this the end of the regular season. Let riders kind of allow themselves that transition from one event to the next. I've got Bib 23. It's David Richter is our leader with 5. His teammate is Brandon Russell on that sprint for 3 points, sitting in second. Number 24 is Nolan Adams with 2 points, currently sitting in third place. And our 4th place currently is John Bowie with 1. Our next bell now incoming. 26 to go. We'll get points next lap. Number 30 in that multicolor kit is without points yet. Mike Robson at the front with Christian Miller on his wheel. You remember that name from the winner of the first race tonight.
He worked his way all the way up through the pack on that lap, from last to first.
And he'll carry right on through. So a nice move for him. He's ready to collect some points. Coming out of the turn, it'll be the pairing of Found Cycling. Again, Russell and Richter making their speed and presence known once again. And Darlene almost getting up for 2. I think we're going to give him 1 on that one, though.
Pretty short respite for him as the mid-pack guys took the lead and put the pedal down there and pushing the speed up a little bit. So getting a little bit of separation between the two groups, not much.
As the race currently stands, our race leader is Dave Richter with 7 points. In second place is number 26, Brandon Russell. His teammate with 5 points is Christian Miller for the 10-speed Hero team. He's got 5 points in third place. We still have number 24, Nolan Adams with 2. Two riders now with 1 point apiece is going to be 32, John Bowie, and number 40, Mike Darlene. And where are those riders now? If we look out to the field, I'm looking for our race leader, Richter. Again, look for a dark green kit with a red bike underneath him. He's mid of that front field now. That's the current race leader. We watch this field here now with Pekka Jaska leading the way. Dave Chipchase, two riders without points yet at the lead of this thing. Bowie is now mid of that front group. John Bowie, number 32, one of the early points getters. And again, doing a good job overall tonight. He's going to try to find some more points in this next sprint. Brett Walker's up there in red, not without any points. This field is mostly made up of fresh faces. Let's see if they can hold off the charge from the chasing group of 5. .21 to go and more points available next lap as Brett Walker in the red is at the lead. He is wearing the colors of the Audi-sponsored racing team. The bigger presence really on the road than we see here, but Brett's been a mainstay competitor here at the track for this season and in years past. Out comes a move from John Bowie for the Liquid Velo team and Richter on his wheel, so they're going to go 1-2 in this thing. Chipchase trying to find his way up for some points in this one as well as Brett Walker. It will be Richter for 5, Bowie for 3, and 2 more for Brett Walker, his first 2 points, and Chipchase for his first. Unofficially, points totals, Richter in the lead with 12. In second place with 6 is Brandon Russell. In third place with 5 is Christian Miller. In fourth place with 4 is number 32, John Bowie. After that, I've got 2 points, both to number 3 and to number 24. That's both Walker and Adams. After that, I've got 1 point for number 40, Mike Darlene, as well as number 6, Dave Chipchase. Don't forget, by day, he teaches digital media, photography over at, I don't know, some school that's not in Bellevue anymore. But at night, he's Mount Sinai High School. I know which school you're at. I'm just giving you a hard time. By night, he's the amazing photographer here at the Velodrome and many local events. Dennis Crane hanging out again here on a Friday night. And you can find his great work at dbcphoto.com. He'll often share some great examples of his work to the Facebook page. You want to check out some of that great stuff. If you find one you like, make sure to go to dbcphoto.com, purchase your favorite one, and share it far and wide to support our friend Dennis Crane. Our thanks to him for being another one of our sponsors here in 2019 and for all of his work capturing the action at the Velodrome. That's Mike Robson starting to sneak away a little bit there. Not that sneaky. It's obviously right in front of the field, but they are letting him get a little bit of daylight, possibly enough to hold on before the next bell and maybe even find some points as he's going to be coming into a bell lap, and he's currently without points. At 16 to go, Robson gets the bell. Here comes the rest of the field. They're going to be looking to catch Robson and maybe find the 5 in the field. Robson holding off here still, but the field is starting to pick up pace as the main group coming down the back straight is being led by Chipchase now out of the saddle, seeing an opportunity for him to try to get up there. And he's bringing right along with him the race leader. So that's going to be Richter, and we know exactly what he can do in this situation. So he's going to do just that. Robson still looking like he's in a good position to collect points, although it may not be as many as he's hoping for. 5 for Richter, 3 for Robson, 2 for Chipchase, 1 for Walker.
And they're all coming back together. 8 in the lead group.
My unofficial points total. The race leader, Dave Richter, now with a total of 17 points. In second place is still Brandon Russell with 6. After that, now I still got number 7, Christian Miller with 5 points, good for third. Number 32, Jump Buoy with 4, still in 4th place. And now we have several riders with 3 points apiece. Number 3, number 6, and number 30, all with 3 apiece. And I still have got number 24, Noel Nouns with 2, and number 40, Mike Darlene with 1. Those points do match our officials as of right now. And with 13 to go, Brett Walker and Michael Darlene trying to get away from the field.
Three more sprints to go with the last one at double. There's still a lot of points to be had out there. Puts you got an 11-point lead right now, but things change oh so quickly in the points race.
Especially when the leader has the big gap, but everybody else doesn't, right? There's a big jump to get to the leader, but everybody else is still fighting right there for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. And honestly, if Richter can't keep putting it together, he could find himself not in the lead too. So, yeah, it's certainly wide open. Richter's seen kind of undefeatable here. He keeps finding his way up to the front at the right time, kind of finding the right wheel and then accelerating as needed. But we'll see if he can do a few more of those. 11 to go, and there's another bell for Walker and Darlene off the front. Chip Chase trying to bring this group of 6 back up.
I'm guessing some of those 6 are going to make a move here pretty soon.
Not good news for Darlene and Walker as Chip Chase is doing enough work to bring up, you guessed who, Richter on the wheel, and off he goes. Richter accelerating quickly. He brings with him Bowie, who's looking to challenge here a little bit. Coming through the corner, it's Darlene. Now Richter taking the front. Richter and Bowie go 1-2. Darlene will get the 3rd place across the line, and Robson cleans up for 1. Our lead hasn't changed, but the 2nd place has. Now John Bowie is in 2nd with 7 as Brandon Russell slides to 3rd and moves everybody else down with him. So Bowie moving on up to that 2nd place with 7 points now. After that, it's Russell with 6 in 3rd, Miller in 4th with 5. Worth mentioning now that number 30 after the last sprint, Mike Robson, does find himself in 5th place with 4 points. So an adjustment there for Robson as he continues to work his way a little closer to the front. That's the rider in the multicolor kit that just swung up towards the rail. Everybody trying to find their opportunity here as Richter just keeps getting in the right place at the right time for those sprints coming out of the back straight, and he keeps adding to his points totals. I now have him down for 22.
Everybody's got enough energy to get back in the pack. We'll see who's going to be able to, on this penultimate sprint, get themselves in position for the win.
You know, the field certainly got bigger just as these sprints are ending. It seems like we catch back on, and then a new group tries to go off the front. Brett Walker's been in a lot of these attempts, and David Chip Chase now joining in as well. I've seen Chip Chase lead out a few sprints in the field. In fact, it's been Chip Chase's wheel that Richter has been jumping over coming into that sprint. So now with Chip Chase off the front, that's going to change up the landscape of this group of 6 that's behind them, as Chip Chase does love a good effort, and he's going to try to put one out right now with Walker working together with him as they come through turns 3 and 4. The chasing field right behind him. The bell's ringing for the penultimate of the sprints. One rider working his way up in the finishing points is going to be Mike Robson, their number 30. Great endurance rider with the ability to sprint here tonight. He keeps getting stronger as the race goes on. We'll see if he can put it together here as Richter's going to launch another move from the field. He's got a long ways to go for 5, but it's going to be Chip Chase and Walker that got to hold this off. And Richter's just got a lot of speed behind him. It just seems like no matter what you do and how far you try to get away from him, he's going to catch you. Richter. Whoa, Siegel might have found it. Chip Chase and Walker will go for 2 and 1. Just a warning for number 6 there, Chip Chase, although aware of it, just holding his line in the sprint. Four to go. So Alex Siegel finally finds a way to beat Richter to the line. He gets 5 points in that sprint, while we'll give 3 more to Richter. That still puts our race leader up to 25 points. It's still number 32 in second, John Bowie. Couple riders getting lapped, changing up some points totals as well, so we'll be mindful of that as our race leader again, number 23 with 25 points. After that last sprint is Richter for the Fountain Cycling Guild, and again, bib number 23, our leader, and he has been for the majority of the race. Number 32, currently in second, is John Bowie with 7. After that, I have a couple riders with 5 points apiece. It's going to be both Dave Chip Chase and Alex Siegel, currently now in a tie for what I believe is third place. And here we go. Our final lap of racing for the regular season for this field is just about to be underway. They're going to be getting the bell, and it's the final sprint. One to go. 2019 coming to a close for this group. We've got one more race after this for their final race of the season as well. Just 25 laps of racing left to go for the regular season. Coming down the back straight, it's going to be Mike Robson leading it out. But the counterpunch now coming in as Richter's going to take the sprinters lane. Oh, who's going to find this final sprint? One rider going down a lap trying to challenge here, but he's going to be giving up to the winner here. It's just Richter seems undefeatable here. Just can't seem to put it together. Bowie will pick up 6 more. Robson, I think, will find the 4. Miller, maybe 2 more.
A fitting end to Richter's night. Well done.
He's got the nickname the Rocket for that speed he can put out there, but a 35-lap race, I don't know. A Rocket's got one big blast, you know. He just keeps it coming. Keeps it coming. So nice race for him for sure.
That corner number 3 is a nice backdrop to watch him coming over the top.
Our last field is coming up to the rail now. Cat 3 field coming to the rail for the 5x5 points race.
So did their upgrade points carry to the next year, or is this do or die night for riders looking to upgrade?
Upgrades will stick with you. It's kind of like a license-based thing. So coming in next season, we'll be able to keep working on my progress. That doesn't go away. My season points will reset. The season competition, of course, nice and fresh for 2020. So we'll get new leaders' jerseys, new folks to kind of step up. We'll see how those fields shake out next year. But riders looking to upgrade. Every night counts for their upgrade points. So as long as we got a contended field, which of course we do for these guys tonight.
So during the off season, if you're just 1 or 2 wins away from upgrade, that keeps you motivated, gets you out of the bed, get you on the rollers, training. A lot of them are probably looking forward to just laying down some base miles and lay off the interval training as much.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of coaching would encourage these riders to consider a little bit of rest at the end of the season and reset themselves. And then, yeah, that off season, put the base miles in, get yourself set to go. Attend the auction, of course, raise a lot of money for the Velodrome, and then get ready for the real racing to pick up in our preseason next late spring.
They're even allowed to go do some cross-country skiing or something like that if they'd like.
That's got some great, actually, cross skill sets and muscle sets if you want to keep in good shape for cycling. Yeah, it's a great thing to be doing.
If we had speed skating here, they could go speed skating in the wintertime.
There you go.
Sheila Young-Alkowitz?
Says taking around another lap is the sign. We had a bit of a mechanical mishap. We're trying to get the rider back in there, and then it looks like another mishap on the home straight. We'll make sure we're good to go before the race starts. Very good. Looks like he's up and okay. So we're happy to see he would make his way into the infield and work out that arm or whatever might have occurred there. So in a second, it looks like maybe that was Ken Dong working with his bike a little bit, trying to make sure everything was set to go. I think checking in with Hyun to see if he was going to be jumping back in or not. Looks like that's not going to be the case. And there's the whistle to start the action. A big thanks to some of our great sponsors for 2019. As we get down to another close of another year, we are just so fortunate to have received an incredible amount of support from our community, both big and small, and everybody who steps up to help us. We are very thankful for that help in this season. Of course, Eric Waterman, Rhinoplasty, for stepping up this year. We thank you for your financial support. Eric Waterman and his great team. John Duggan, Cycling Attorney, for the years of support in the track, and of course for all racers in the Pacific Northwest. John Duggan, Cycling Attorney, our thanks to them as well. Bike. You can get your great physical therapy from Caporsano, bike physical therapists, and of course our support is going back for years as well for them. Our thanks to Caporsano, again, for stepping up in 2019. Our thanks now to Star Rentals for their ongoing support behind the scenes and helping us get the equipment we need for getting the track ready to go every year. Thanks to Noon Hydration for helping make our water a little bit nutritious and a little bit better for recovery here on the infield. Noon makes your water super powered. Check out their product online. Of course, Build Performance Center, another one of our sponsors here in 2019. You can thank Kreitler Rollers for helping provide some roller support here on the infield every single year at the Velodrome. Check out their great products. They make the best in the biz. Kreitler Rollers, again, sponsoring us in 2019. Pierce Design, westpierce.com, helped us put together our beautiful new logo when we redesigned back a couple years ago when we re-announced as the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome. Our thanks to Pierce Design for helping support us here this year. And of course, Ace Maple Leaf, your friendly hardware location in Seattle, taking care of all your needs. Ace Maple Leaf once again says we will support racers and our Seattle community. Our thanks to Ace Maple Leaf in 2019. If you know or have any connections in corporate world of some folks that might want to get in touch with a community of active, athletic, involved, highly interested and motivated individuals, this is the place to come to. We would love to talk to them about corporate sponsorship opportunities. We have many levels of engagement for different companies and different various amounts of support, and we will be taking those contacts in the off season. You can find that information online at our website, velodrome.org. Find our contacts and send an email our way. We'd love to get into contact with you or someone you know to help sponsor and support racing in 2020.
The lead is starting to melt just a little bit there.
Yeah, it looks like Aiden Mcclinton trying to close that gap. The laser made his move way before the bell was ringing, and it was a good move for him. He'll hold off for 5. Chris Wilson charging for 3. 2 points for Mcclinton, and Wofor 1 point for Calvin Sprenger in the back of that one. So that is our early leaders in the points race.
I think he said, let's keep it going, as he took second place and then kept moving, and a couple are joining. Everybody's joining back up again.
You know, certainly trying to keep the momentum going. Not enough to put a lot of separation in this field, though, as we are essentially back together following the sprint with the leader of the race, Henry Kaiser, the leader's jersey, number 315. Number 330 is Chris Wilson in the dark green, is in second with 3 points. Aiden Mcclinton with the white and red is in third with 2. Calvin Spranger has got the black jersey on. Number 322 with 1 point is currently in fourth. Medical staff's checking in with him right now. Our group set up a little high here above that blue line as a signal to everybody here that nobody wants to commit too hard just yet because they do know it's another lap before the bell. As Carl Pratis is kind of the prey out in front right now as the field's kind of watching him, but they all kind of coagulate back together into turn one.
Sometimes mid-race, your legs start to talk to you, and they say, hey, maybe we're more of a sprinter. Let's just hang in here and see what happens. And your head says, we've never been a sprinter before. And the legs say, well, tonight's the night. We're saving ourselves to the last 200 meters.
Your legs talking like complete sentences. Mine would talk in like four-letter words. Bell's ringing at 16 to go, and our field is getting back up to speed. Again, one sprint that's been completed so far. So we'll see if anybody can double dip here and try to get some more points once again. I'm looking at Chris Wilson in a really good position. Peter Snoblin at the lead. Chris Wilson just starting to get enough speed to overtake. Aiden Mcclinton coming up behind them in the white and red also, one of the points getters from the first sprint. Here comes Chris Wilson for his 5. Peter Snoblin trying to find 3. It's going to be a hard job. 3 for McClinton, 2 for Snoblin, and 1 for Chris Schoen. Unofficially in the lead of the race, I've got Chris Wilson with 8 points. In second place is a tie between Kaiser and McClinton with 5 apiece. After that, I've got Snoblin with 2, Spranger with 1, and Schoen with 1. 14 to go in the field in single file formation above the stairs line. Why not?
Somebody's going to come out of there feeling pretty refreshed.
Yeah, you'd hope so. This is the oxygen reset moment, right? When you're above the blue line, everybody's trying to just let the system get back and cool down a little bit. Here, Snoblin loves to come to the front of the field. It's really hard to sprint from the front and get points, but he's going to be at the front before this next sprint. Maybe that'll work out a little bit better for him as he's going to be seeing 12 to go. McClinton and Wilson, 2 big points getters right behind him.
They can check their heart rate monitor readings when they get home on their computer and go, wow, that was kind of a slow pace there for a little bit. No wonder I was so good at the end.
You actually see some of our riders coming up with those riding computers on their bikes. They flip the screens down if they have them up there. They can't be seen as that is a race hazard to be watching them. But a lot of these guys are monitoring their personal workout during this time. You know, got to check out your heart rate, your power meters, all that good stuff. It's great data for these competitive athletes to try to refine the sport for them. As the bells ring and the laser's going to dart to the front again, and it's going to be Pratis trying to trace him down. He's got a good 400-meter effort behind him, and in the head-to-head sprint competition, Pratis showed him a few things, especially when you take the second wheel. If he can come into turn 3 in that position, I got to give it to Pratis now if he can just keep it going. Kaiser trying to hold off. It'll be Pratis coming in for 5. Maybe. Oh, Spranger says no, it's not. Cal Spranger for 5. I got 3 for Pratis. I think it's 2 for Wilson and 1 for Kaiser, unofficially.
He really held off on his sprint till he was right at the far end of turn 4, so we couldn't see it. I guess we could ask all racers to make their move at the start of turn 3, so it's real easy for us to see what's happening. But what we see up here is not their concern. Yeah, those heart rate monitors just give you so much information to make your eyes glaze over. But like I say, that's what the off season's for. You can study all that. All those numbers. "30 meters of separation for the first 3.
You know, it looks like the race leader is in that group, as I have number 330, Chris Wilson, unofficially at 10 points in the lead right now. He's the rider at the front of that group, looking over his right shoulder, trying to see who was with him. He's got Snoblin and Spranger, the two riders with him. Continuing our points update, I've got Kaiser and Spranger in a tie for second with 6 points apiece. In fourth with 5 is McClinton. After that, I got Pratis with 3, Snoblin 2, Schoen 1. Those points are certainly unofficial. 3 riders off the front. Still, as mentioned, a couple riders in the chase, though, starting to close that gap down just a little bit. 2 sprints remain and 8 laps in the 2019 regular season. Oh, 7, excuse me.
Going by faster than you think.
Yeah, got to pay attention or laps just disappear before you even know it.
Two riders are bridging.
It does make our front group look like they've gotten a little stronger here. Make it 5 if McClinton can close that gap as the bell's ringing. 6 to go, and the bell's ringing with Snoblin at the front. Calvin Spranger, second wheel. Now he's at the front as he's got Chris Wilson, the current race leader, right behind him. John Bravenek has made his way to the front in that blue kit. He's in the third wheel position right now, right in front of Peter Snoblin. Now Chris Wilson doing a great job reading this wheel and being in the right spot at the right time. That's going to be a hard place to beat as Wilson's coming out of the turn, now taking the front. Calvin Spranger showed some great speed in that last sprint, but I think this is maybe a little bit too tall of an order as Wilson's in the right place at the right time. Spranger for 3. Whoa, I think Bravenek got the 2. Snoblin 1 unofficially. And our current race leader unofficially with 10 points, 15 points is Chris Wilson. Wilson with 15 points, our unofficial race leader with 9. In second is Calvin Spranger. After that, I have Kaiser with 6, McClinton and Snoblin with 5, Pratis with 3, Schoen and Bravenek with 1. One correction is that Peter Snoblin has 4 points, not 5. I gave him a bonus one just because I like him that much.
This is not ski jumping. We don't give style points here.
You got to earn them all. Two laps remain as we come into the end of our 2019 season. 2 laps of racing before we're going to start closing this track down from the regular season. Don't worry, there's one more week of racing next week. It's just the postseason, right? We were going to have some more fun, celebrate our work this year, but the season points are over. And I've actually got a conflict next week, so I'll be saying goodbye tonight for the season as I'm not going to be able to be here next week. But there will be lots of racing going on 1 week from today in our postseason. And one last hurrah. We've got our hour record attempts the next Saturday. And, of course, our celebration from the season on that Sunday at Diamond Knot from 2 to 5. We hope you can join us for that. The final and double point sprint is now underway. 1 to go. Peter Snoblin on the front of this one. McClinton in second wheel. That's going to be Chris Wilson, the current leader, in third and in a fantastic spot to try to win this sprint as well. Spranger's watching his wheel because he knew what happened last time. He's like, I don't want that to happen again. Calvin learns fast. Now here comes Chris Wilson with Calvin Spranger on his wheel this time. Let's see if that changes up. Hey, look who's come to the front. It's the leader's jersey. Henry Kaiser's been kind of resting in the group now. He's going to try and put in a big sprint himself, but coming out of the turn, it's going to be Wilson and Spranger. Spranger will grab it. Wilson will get 6. Kaiser will get 4, and McClinton will grab 2.
Great way to end it with 6-8 inches between wheels there. Nicely done. Nicely done.
My initial call on that is I believe Chris Wilson comes out 2 points ahead of Spranger, even though he lost a sprint. So he will be the winner in that race, but a nice competition right down to the end of it.
Well, thank you all very much. What a pleasant evening. Some great racing. from all over the place, not just from the ones and twos.
Yeah, every field keeping it interesting tonight. And of course, again, as mentioned before earlier tonight, we are so thankful for those of you that are sticking around to enjoy the racing. If you made it all the way to the end tonight, we thank you from the bottoms of our heart for being with us and putting up with this nonsense for a few more hours. We hope that you enjoyed tonight's racing, that you will make your way back out here again next Friday, and that'll actually be the big finale of our year. One more race next week. I won't be with you, so I'll be signing off for this season and looking forward to some more great stuff next year. And again, thanks to Kevin for joining me up here on the announcing stand. It's been a real pleasure to have another voice joining me the end of the season.
Well, thank you for letting me be a part of it, a small part of it. I am more than happy to do it.
You bet.
And we'll see you all next week, next Friday night, for our last closing. Will there be some interesting formats? Or
it's going to be a fun night, celebratory mixed racing. So it's going to be, nothing matters anymore. Let's just have some cool stuff going on the track, right? Postseason.
Excellent.
So, once again, thank you all, and we appreciate seeing so many of you here tonight. Looking forward to seeing you for more great racing here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.